Hey everyone, welcome back to the second episode of this playthrough. We're in a pretty good spot. We have just entered the classical era, a little bit on the later side. We went to turn 55 because there were a lot of fame stars we could get. We have our main city, Harappa, which has like this massive system of rivers, which is crazy good. A ton of pop in here. We have two other cities. We took Byblos, so I basically bullied the Phoenicians while they were still in the Neolithic. So they got set up very late. I instantly declared war on them, took the city, took another city that I raised and turned into an outpost, and now they're just like confined to this one territory that I will eventually take later as well once I have some war support. I'm going to make demands there. And I was going to claim this territory, but the gods have conspired against me. However, I should be able to eliminate that with relative ease. We're going to go ahead and attack right there. But as for the rest of the game, as far as fame goes, the brown player is currently running away with fame. I think they're almost ready to go up to the medieval. And I'm not sure which persona this brown player is, but I've noticed they have tended to do that in a lot of the games I've played. They really get a ton of fame very early. So I'm hoping they slow down, but sometimes they don't, and they'll have like 12k fame at turn 110 or something, which would not be ideal. So standing army is not a priority for me, actually. I would like to get research going in at least one of my cities. I want to turn into like a research capital effectively. I'm going to finish purchasing flood irrigation. Let's move some people back onto science so I get my tech really fast. And we can start getting our kuna since we went up as the Mayans. So this is going to provide us with a fair bit of industry. And because I went the Mayans, my workers are quite a bit more effective as well. They're getting +2 from my legacy trait, which is very nice to have. So just find some good spots for these. That's not ideal. I do want to attach this sometime soon. I think now is as good a time as any, to be honest. That's fine right there. And let's sustain the number of pops we have. We're at -1. Once we get flood irrigation up, that'll fix itself. Okay. Let's bring you back. I'm going to disband this runner over here. Get some more pop. And I think I'm going to disband this one as well. There's really no reason to keep these runners still out in the classical. And yeah, you can be on science, that's fine. 14 production for a little bit of loss of food is fine. Same right here. I have more than enough food in the city, so I'm not concerned about that. I want to get these kunas online as soon as possible. My industry is fairly low in all of my cities. So getting that up is a priority for me. And let's take care of this battle. Move you up onto higher ground and off the river so your shots are a little more effective. We're not going to attack. Yeah, just let the archers do their work. Okay, very good. Then we'll come down here and try to pillage this. Or it'll turn into Hippo Regius. So we'll just take it and burn it down. I don't want a city down here. They are hostile to me, so we do need to deal with it sooner rather than later. I'm still sitting on the Hanging Gardens as well, which I would like on one of these saffron, because that's going to provide me a massive boost to my food output. I'm going to go ahead and put that down, but it's a low priority until I get more production online and can produce it more efficiently. Okay. Whoops. Rhetoric is also going to be very good for me. I want this +1 science per population, and I'm not at war with anyone. I have a non-aggression pact with purple, so I'm not worried about them declaring war on me in the near future. So I am going to continue down the path to get my science online. Let's move these guys very quickly. There we go. Take that city, and then we can deal with these guys on the next turn. Trade luxuries. What do you have? Doesn't tell me. I don't know if they actually have their luxuries online. They might. Where are they in terms of fame? They're barely ahead of me, so I'm not worried about them getting too much of a benefit from this. Only have 2 ebony, but I am going to buy those because it's going to get me a little bit of extra production. Okay, some spearmen running around here. Let's get another army going. Really wish I had a little bit more production in this city so I could finish this in one turn. Let's head back this way. Gonna need at least 1 more unit to deal with those spears. We'll have to deal with this eventually. They're at their zenith, so they're not going to be fading anytime soon. Yeah, you can just build whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll be burning you down. New Civic, Independent People. We're going to go for this 50% assimilation cost reduction exclusively because it moves us farther on the homeland axis. So we will have +2 combat strength from that. Okay, purchase that. Not quite 1 turn, but I can hopefully purchase the archers on the next turn. That's going to take a while to loot. I am building 2 archers there. Let's see, Byblos, you have a lot of population, my friends. So we're going to, let's move this to expert policy so I don't have to micromanage this every turn. That looks good. Could use a couple more units here. Let's go for a double warrior. And because of how much food it has, it'll replenish quite quickly its population. Okay, let's buy that. Okay, they stopped pillaging. I do want a sizable base for my military. Alright, so what we can do is put our units up here, have this guy block. This guy is blocking down here. That looks good to me. I don't know if they can actually come up that way. It doesn't look like they can. Okay, they can right there. Good to know. So if I move, if I move up here and I shoot, I will get, I will remove the river crossing penalty, but I'll lose line of sight. And the river crossing penalty is lower than the line of sight penalty, so I'm going to take the attack right here. But for these guys, they don't have line of sight anyway, so I am going to move them up. And they'll have line of sight of both of these guys because they are 2 levels above their targets. I'm actually going to, let's get the spearmen. And go ahead and stay right here so they're blocking access to the archers. And then we'll start hitting the archers next. Okay, we'll want to pull him back, I think. Can hopefully kill them. Yep. Okay, so we'll come back over here where they won't have high ground. They may attack the archers, but they can easily survive a single hit. Just like that. Alright. We'll go ahead and plonk that outpost back down. Right there, since it was on the ruins of an old outpost, it just builds instantly. At least that's what I've noticed. I'm not sure if that's intended behavior or not. Okay, let's buy that. And yeah, they're going to have reinforcements, but with my barricades that I have from the city, this should not be an issue. I'm going to be on the low ground there. And I can bring these guys in behind, so I'm going to do that. Though, yeah, there they are. Okay. Let's slaughter some archers in the back. There we go. So I am going to move this guy here, so I can move him through the zone of control and start getting over this way. Should finish off those spearmen. And now I can move like back up this way where these other spears won't be able to get at me because they'll have to move through the district. We'll move here to block so they can take a hit on the next turn. And so what would happen is these spearmen would move into the district and then attack me uphill through the district. I could have moved him back here and then I wouldn't have had to block, but they were going to attack one of those two units anyway. Alright, so I can finish off the spears, hopefully. Do I get a rear attack? I do. They're facing the wrong way. Easy cleanup there. And there's a militarist Aerostar. I want to think about going to war again here soon. I'm going to go ahead and just refuse their demands. Ooh, only game in town. +7 combat strength on units. I could also get +10 science, but I don't think I need that. Let's go for the +7 combat strength. It's going to make my life a lot easier for taking out the remnants of the Phoenicians. And let's move into position to do that. Okay, go for hydrology, specifically for the watermill, because of how many damn rivers I have. I will get a lot of benefit out of getting a watermill. Excuse me. Alright. So just going to hang out on the edge of the territory here. Jeez, I don't know how that keeps happening. And start bringing these units back in this direction. My only neighbor I have a non-aggression pact with, so not an issue. Want to explore up in this direction soon. How many turns for Hanging Gardens? 8. Let's finish the Kuna first, and we're going to add the Hanging Gardens here after this Kuna, and Hanging Gardens here as well. Let's get that out as soon as possible. That'll give me a massive benefit to my food output. I'll keep him on money. It would be nice to generate at least one of the Merchant Aerostars. I think it's pretty unlikely, but we'll see. Trade everything? No, I don't want you to have access to any of the strategics that I have. I don't think I have any iron. I do have iron right here, okay. And I've been neglecting to buy out extractors, so let's do that right now. Should have done that earlier. I can get one right here as well. And that'll improve the effect of Hanging Gardens too, so that'll be very nice. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to need these guys down here. I think I can do it with these 7 units alone, given the number of archers that I have, and the fact I have a super OP +7 combat strength buff. But just in case I do, let's go ahead and bring him down. Get everyone in position, and next turn, yeah, we have enough war support. We'll just surprise war. Okay. I think Standing Army is reasonable next. Then we can maybe go up to Craftsmanship, but I do like to have fortifications just in case. It improves the combat strength of your defensive units in your city, and that can be pretty critical. I'm not under threat right now, but it's something I don't want to neglect, because sometimes when you get declared war on, it's a surprise and units just show up on top of you almost instantly. Okay, and the turn. So I queued up the watermill here as well because, yeah, I have so much river that I can take advantage of. So 3 turns for Hanging Gardens. That's not too bad. Let's see. Excuse me. Forced labor would be fine. It moves me in the wrong direction, but it doesn't actually change my ideology here. So small penalties to stability is totally manageable. Expert policy, production and science, like usual. They have a little bit on money here as well, which is pretty good. At some point, I need to consider getting artificial reservoirs in here as well, and I think that'll be good. But let's let's go watermill and then library. I have a lot of pop in here, so that gives me a lot of science. So library here as well, and then House of Scribes. And then we'll want the same thing here. So the reason I'm prioritizing the library here, House of Scribes just gives +1 science per researcher, and I only have 4 researchers. Library gives +1 science per population, and I have 13 population. So although the library is more expensive to produce by, I don't know, 75% or so, that just a guesstimate, I'm getting way more. I'm getting more than double the amount of science from building the library as I would the House of Scribes. So that's why I'm prioritizing it. God, my cough won't go away. All right, so it is time to declare our surprise war. And I'm going to see where they move. Okay. So what I'm going to do is attack this guy right here. Okay, he'll retreat. I want to attack the units that are outside the city first, because then I can deal with them independently of the city guard. It's fine. Okay, time to bring in the archers. We're going to shoot with them first before I bring in the reinforcements, so they still have line of sight to their targets. Do you want to shoot? There we go. Okay, we'll finish him off with warriors. And now I can bring the warrior in, because otherwise he would have been blocking line of sight. Bring these archers in. Kind of the same story here. Make sure they have line of sight. And then we can bring the warriors in. This guy shoots. And there he goes. And we'll move a warrior onto the flag. We'll move a guy up here where he will have high ground. I should be able to kill this warrior with the number of melee units I have, so I'll go ahead and take him out. Okay, so this scout's just chilling like a villain. I'm kind of the villain here, really, but I'm aggressing like a villain. Go ahead and wipe them. And then on the next turn, we can deal with the city itself. Still have scouts running around. It's kind of funny. Okay. So, could buy out a harbor here. And I think I'm going to do that. Once I attach it, it'll work these tiles as well. So let's attach that territory. That'll give me a little extra food. As well as another spot to build a kuna. And we'll want to connect this up so it's protected by walls, so we'll get a Maker's Quarter in the queue as well. Hanging Gardens, 2 turns away. And then my food is going to absolutely explode. Okay, they're standing army. They got some more warriors, which is fine. I'm not concerned about that. Okay, let's go ahead and attack. They still don't have... Maybe those other ones are retreating. That's why they're not reinforcing. I was going to say they still don't have organized warfare, but I think the other 2 might just be retreating still. Okay. Alright, shoot the levies. Shoot the warriors. Shoot the warriors. This is easy stuff right here. I don't want to go in with this guy because he's pretty low health. So we'll play it safe with him. There we go. We'll see. They're probably going to move up here. Yeah. And just suicide straight into my warriors. Excellent. Alright, so see how easy it is when you have massive combat strength buffs? Give you +7 on all your units. Man, this game couldn't be getting easier. Yeah, this is silly. Not that they ever had a chance anyway, given the position I put them in at the start of the game. Part of the advantage of taking a very early era up. So I have 49 food. It'll be reduced a little bit because I'm growing on the next turn. But let's see how much food. See, my total food is 92 plus 122. So that's what? 222 220. 214 food that I have in this city, if I'm doing my math right. So let's see what Hanging Gardens brings that up to. 106 surplus. Yeah, that's a lot of food from the Hanging Gardens. Okay, let's kill their unit before I end this war, so I actually completely wipe them out. There we go. Alright. Give me your city. What's this? Hello. Okay, there we go. Got a free territory out of that as well. Now, I could raise this. But I'm only one over my city cap. And I can attach right here as well. That would be an okay attachment. Does have a haven that's getting a decent bit of growth and some money. You know, I'm going to go ahead and keep this. Let's attach this outpost right here. Get some industry. There's an okay amount of river, but I think animal barns might be a little bit better here. Let's see. +3 food on harbor, not that big of a deal. Excuse me, guys. Cough is unending. I'd really prefer to be building a district right now. Let's go for animal barns. That will be useful, but I have to wait for the stability to recover before I build a district. I can get press freedom already. I don't need it right now, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, let's go into imperial power, maybe? Could go for craftsmanship, but I don't have 2 bronze, or 2 copper, I mean. Bronze is a treated metal, not one you build out of the ground. We'll want this iron. Let's get that after... Let's buy out that library. Yeah, earlier I get the science, the better. So let's get that iron, in case I need access to it. Okay, Byblos looking okay right now. Okay. I have 3 attached territories, basically on all my cities, which is about where I like to be, so that looks okay. So, science. I could go for craftsmanship. I will be able to build the artisan's workshop. I'm not really struggling on this yet, and it's probably going to be a little bit before I go up to the next era, because I really want to get as many stars as possible. So, I think I'm going to... So the reason I would go for imperial power is that it opens up 2 of the best techs of medieval, which is feudalism, because this increases the food on tile, gives you access to peasants for defensive purposes, and gives you colony model. And more summons, of course, gives you crossbows and pikemen. Theology up here is also pretty good, because it gets you some science per researcher, and then goes on to alchemy. But because I want to be waiting a while, I'm not looking to go up to medieval in like the next few turns. I'm going to go ahead and go for craftsmanship because I would like to get the artisan's workshop with the number of people I have working industry. That'll be good to have. I should really get a forge in here as well. We'll build the school first and then the forge. I'm getting plus 30% food on all my cities, so I am I'm going to be growing a lot. Let's see. I would prefer this to be an agriculture quarter, and then I build a kuna, like right there. So let's get that rolling. Alright. And it is time to move my units. Don't have to worry about this side of the continent anymore. That is cleared up. Looks like there might be an island down here that I can go explore at a later date. I should take these guys out, and that'll get me my militarist aerostars as well, all 3 of them. Need 1 more for my second builder star, 1 more district. There's my agrarian star, there's a scientist star, there's builder star, very fast. Let's see what's been taken. Aha, so brown has taken the Mongols, and that'll actually probably slow them down a bit, and in fact, green has overtaken them, which makes sense, because the English are a way better culture than the Mongols. I could obviously take the Khmer. They are super good. I would really like to play the Byzantines, but I don't... I mean, I have 2 horses. I don't think that's enough to generate me the merchant aerostars that I'm going to need. I'd really want a minimum of like 3 horses. Could go for the Teutons. They are an expansionist, though. Sorry about the coughs again. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm not looking to go up quite yet. So we'll just have to see what's available when we get there. I would at least like to 3-star all of these. And I can potentially get 1 to 2 expansionist stars, maybe an aesthete star. My merchant stars are very unlikely. Let's see. I will want to start getting science quarters in a city here. This isn't a decent option because there is copper here that I can build directly adjacent to, which increases the viability of those quarters. And I could attach this outpost at some point to allow me to build out from there. Now, I will be losing out on production by doing that, but it might be worth it. Right, waiting on that Kuna. The other option is I can start building down in this direction. And I think from a efficiency perspective, that would be better. Because this city has a lot of base outputs from river already. And these are pretty good tiles to work for production. Whereas these ones are just like a little bit of food. So let's go for making this our sort of science city, get that rolling. We could turn builder mode on here. I think I want the science, though. I call it builder mode. It used to literally be called that, but now I think it's land raiser. If it lets me... Yeah, I think it's called land raiser now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It does the same thing as it always did. Converts your money and your science into industry so you can build stuff faster. But then obviously you're not getting any money or science. Okay. Could get the theater, honestly. A little bit of extra influence to help get aesthete stars would still be useful. Okay, animal barn's coming up here. Still gonna need to use production a little bit more. Yeah, let's go. We can start work on the library. We won't finish it before we start building a quarter, though. Okay, let's go ahead and upgrade the warriors, upgrade these archers to noble javelineers. I have to keep in mind that they will no longer have indirect fire. So I have to be a little bit smarter about how I position them. Go ahead and take that attack. So what we're going to do is spawn our javelineers over here. Move that guy out of the way. And actually, we might have to do something like this, just so I can attack on the first turn. Ah, weird spot for them to go. We'll go up here on the high ground. So the reason I spawned the swordsmen in a weird spot like that was so if they spawned on their front lines, my noble javelineers would have direct line of sight, or I could move them to direct line of sight easily so I can actually use them. And then I can move the swordsmen in front of them to stop their melee units from attacking me. And with this terrain advantage here, I am 2 tiles over the unit that's blocking, so I am able to throw. Okay, there we go. And I think that's my militarist star? It is. Okay. I think Give Alms is the choice here. I would have preferred Bear Not False Witness, but Give Alms will help me get money on market quarters. It's by far better than most of these other ones. Yield to None can be kind of okay, but the tenants before it, what is it? Hunt the Infidels is way better. Plus 10 war support when you win a battle is amazing. You can sustain war support basically forever. But we'll take the plus 5 money on market quarters, because we will start getting some market quarters up at some point in the not-so-distant future. I'm a little bit far away from some of the luxuries on my main cities. I think we want to start building out down this way and surround this area with markets. So if you put markets adjacent to luxury resources, they get some bonuses from that. So you can see if I put it here, I'm getting +8, whereas here I'm getting +12, because it increases the gold I'm getting on the Artisan's Quarter. Okay. Start going for Imperial Power, so we have access to some of the better techs of the medieval whenever we go up. So I'll need 10 more quarters for my builder stars, 2 more techs here, 12 more pop. Only need to attach 1 outpost for an expansionist star. And we should do that sooner rather than later, because the longer you wait, the less fame it's worth. The amount of fame you get declines the farther into the era you go. You actually want to put that right there, because we want to leave this space open for market quarters. We're going to use this area to surround with market quarters to generate gold, and hopefully get us some money stars in future eras. Okay, let's go ahead and move in here. Both of those should be able to throw. Actually, that one might be slightly blocked. Yeah. What we're going to do is prefer to be right there. I should have considered this, but I didn't. So this is why it's difficult to make use of Noble Javelineers. You really have to consider your deployments. I could have deployed them farther up, and I'm going to move them here now. And they have a line of sight here because they're farther elevated. So I'll move these swordsmen out of the way, which will allow these Noble Javelineers to fire. Then move these units in, can take that attack, and then these units, because they haven't moved already, can move into the fortification to take the flag. Yep, I'll get a kill there. Anything that helps my militarist Aerostars next turn, I will do. Won't be able to get that one. Unless he suicides. Okay, there we go. So let's make sure we have full vision over all the terrain and all our territory. We want to know absolutely everything. This is actually not a bad city here. I mean, it's kind of random, but it does have quite a few quarters built up. I am taking a pretty major hit to my influence output, though. And it is still pretty realistic that I am able to continue to generate aesthete stars just because of the amount of population that I have. Leadership, we're going to go for that +1 city cap. We might be able to keep this city, actually. Let's see. Let's just get to work on whatever random crap. It doesn't matter because I haven't decided if I'm keeping this or not. This is a very strange spawn, because this is just 2 continents, but it's really kind of like a separate continent from these guys up here. Would really like to meet that, you know, sort of lime green color guy, but they're on the other continent, so I haven't been able to do that. Alright, what is my priority in here? Still need to build a lot more districts, and this city's pretty efficient with its production right now. Now, normally I'd like to be connecting, you know, all this stuff up, but the thing is that this is not under threat from anyone in the near future. So I'd rather get some efficient production at the moment. I'm gonna focus on quarters. Let's see. I do need more scientist slots in here. I don't have a great spot to build science quarters, though. Maybe if we get this area down here. Don't want to build a science quarter right there. So if we build that there, we can... Well, let me think about that again. Because there's not a ton of space either. Maybe up here would be better. So if we build this one, we can start filling this in with some science. I think that might be worth it. I do need more scientists in that city. Harappa has such efficient growth right now that I really need slots available for it to work. I could go for market quarters in here. And now that I'm thinking about it, that might be a slightly better option, just because I have the religious tenet giving me money on my market quarters. This is difficult terrain to make use of, though. We'll let this maker's quarter finish and see how I'm looking in a couple turns. So I definitely want that maker's quarter. Okay. I'm going to buy a harbor right there. Okay. And eventually that'll get attached to a city. Do I have enough? Nope, not quite yet. There we go. Let's get the this one +1 city cap. So I'm thinking I might hold on to this city, to be honest. It's not in a terrible location. It already has some quarters up. I can get a pottery workshop here for that extra influence. But we'll build the Kuna first. Can attach one of these. Probably this one right here, or this one. I do have the harbor here already, so that would help it with growth. Yeah, let's go ahead and attach this. Gets me a couple extra pops in this city. Let's see. Okay, so gonna go with this distribution, because if I add one more, it doesn't actually cut any turns off the the amount of time it takes to build this stuff. Let's get our emblematic quarter up and running. That'll help us in the future. Now, I would like to see what's over on this island here, because there might be some valuable resources. Okay, Harappa. Let's see. Still need 6 more builder stars. You know, I'm thinking I just kind of use Harappa as a production hub, but at the same time, I'm just going to have so much population in this area. Okay, so let's get a farmer's quarter here, and then I can start using this area up here for other quarters. Well, though there is a fair bit of river tile there, not quite as much down here. So let's go down here actually, and then we can start filling this out. If I lose like a river tile or two, it's not that big of a deal. 2 vision range might actually be okay. This does move me along the axis towards collectivism, which gives me extra industry output, which could be nice as well. Yeah, let's go for that, even though it's going to cost me a little bit of gold per turn, but really hardly any in the grand scheme of things. Alright, so next up in terms of tech, we can... Let's see, none of these are super important. Extra army slot would be okay. Foreign outposts really does not matter at all to me. Same with mounted warfare, to be honest. Still going for my 3 builder stars. I can probably get an aesthete star as well. Okay, Mohenjo-daro, or Mohenjo-daro, however it's said, working on its science quarters now, which is excellent. So we don't want to build that. We want to build out towards the iron mine, so we'll wait till that research quarter is complete. Okay, that's not buildable yet since I don't have any research quarters. A forge in here would be great too. Let's do that so I build all my science quarters more efficiently. We'll buy that out after 1 turn. So the forge gives me some extra production based on the number of copper that I have, as well as a little extra production for maker's quarters and maker's quarters adjacency. So it'll help me produce things a little bit more effectively. Let me see who's still available in the next era. So the Umayyads are not really that great at producing science. I don't like them very much. Franks could be an option this run. I'm not a big fan of the Franks. But, you know, I do like to play different cultures for you guys. Alright. So let's make sure there's nothing crazy funky going on with that train there. So basically I have to attack over this little isthmus. Do they get access to any more luxuries? No. So they're falling pretty far behind. Once I explore a bit and have... I'm probably going to need at least one more army. But I am going to want to break through Athens in the not-so-distant future. Okay. So I'm not getting any bonuses, really, down here to either money or science quarters. But let's go ahead and get some market quarters and at least get some more jobs for my population, because they don't have a whole lot to do right now. I am still going to be focusing on industry in the city. That's going to be its primary job, is to build me stuff like military. Let's see here. That's fine. And is there a good spot over here? Yeah, I don't mind losing that little bit of extra food, so we'll build one there. How close are we? Need 3 more. So we'll get this on the next turn. We're literally 1 influence away. Need 3 more quarters for my builder stars. We're pretty close to that. Pick up mounted warfare in 1 turn. And we'll go for the last tech of the era. Let's deprioritize the library and get a turn of production into each of these kunas, since they're just a more efficient maker's quarter, really. Go on expert policy here. Production science gold. So, 2 strategics and a ebony is not too shabby. We'll definitely want to claim that. Let me go up here and see what else there is to see on this island. A little bit bigger than I anticipated. Okay, got that. Do I want to delay anymore? Yes, because I want to turn a production into this kuna. Do I have any more kunas in queue? Any kunas? So we'll get a turn of production into those. So I will still be able to build them, and then we can go up on the following turn. So I need to think about who I want to go up into the next era as here. Okay, there we go. Got a turn of production into all of these. Okay, that's the same either way. Unless I have 2 outposts I can attach. A little bit expensive. I don't think I have quite enough influence. Let's try it. Yeah, we could wait 1 more turn. How much fame is that worth? 176? Yeah, that should be fine. Attach right there. We might shuffle these around later, but I wanted this river system as part of this because I'm getting some very efficient rivers at the moment with infrastructure. Still haven't built the infrastructure in here, actually. Okay, let's get an outpost down here. Doesn't matter too much where. This is really just for ebony access and whatever strategics those are at a later date. Okay, I need to wait 1 more turn. I have 2 Qnons queued up. That doesn't matter to me at the moment. Okay, there we go. Someone chose a culture. It looks like the Aztecs. We don't, or the Umayyads. I'm not sure which one. You don't care about either of those, really. Okay. So the Umayyads are good if you have like a couple really big cities with a ton of attached territories, and you have alliances. That's how they generate science. I don't really have either of those. So, the Norsemen aren't as good here because there's no New World. Honestly, the Khmer are probably my best pick. Um, it's really hard to not pick the Khmer at the moment because I have a ton of population that the beret is going to generate benefit from. Right, I have plus one industry per population on the beret, and you can build multiple of these. Right, so if I have 3 of these in Harappa, I'm going to be getting like what is that 78, 81, 84, 84 production just from these population, and that's going to keep going up throughout the game as well. Now, I haven't played too much of the Franks, and I would like to show them off. Um, it would be fun to play the Teutons as well. I do like the Teutons, and I have a reasonably strong faith at the moment. But this little isthmus here is going to be a bit of a problem trying to break in. And I do not like having expansionist era stars as my primary stars. They're kind of difficult to get even later in the game. Now, the Franks, they do get the scriptorium, which is going to help me a little bit on science, which is something I am focusing on a bit anyway. But this plus 10% influence, I'm already struggling to get a single aesthete era star, and that plus 10% influence is better the more influence you already have. So I'd basically be getting an extra 30 influence from that, which is not very much. I love the Byzantines, but this is not the game for them with only 2 horses. Um, I could I could ascend as well. That's always an option, of course. So really, I mean, the Ghanaians are great if you have a ton of trade. I do not have that, so I'm not going to worry about the Ghanaians. So Khmer, Teutons, or Franks. And I kind of wish I were live streaming right now, because then I could vote. So I'm going to just stop here for a minute and consider, and I'll come back once I've actually made my decision. Alright everyone, so I am back. I have considered what I want to play, and what I've decided on is I am going to go with the Teutons, because they're not like the strongest of the era. I am in a good position for them though, because I have a lot of pops following my state religion, so I'll get a decent benefit out of this. And there's a possibility the Angkor Wat is still available. But ultimately, I really just like playing the Teutons. They're a lot of fun. All their stuff is fairly thematic, even though they are expansionists. That is what it is. So Teutons, here we come. And let's see if the Angkor Wat is still available. It is not. It's too bad. So yeah, that is a good place to leave the episode. So thanks for tuning in. On the next episode, we are going to start our journey in the medieval era.